I mean, Atlanta's similar in terms of offense and what they're trying to do, score around the rim, shoot threes. You know, yes, Ryan averages 10 threes attempted a game, and she shoots for percentage, so it's not like, then you got a game plan for that. At least Gray can get going. So we've got to do a really good job of not getting over-rotated defensively to where we're giving up good catch-and-shoot threes. We've got to make them earn those. And with BG out, that changes them a little bit on the inside. With her and Bree Jones, they're big. So, hopefully she's feeling better, but she's not in tonight, so that changes their game plan a little bit.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
David.
Hey, Coach. Last game, late in the fourth, you kind of had a little bit of a lineup tweak there with Julie running with the starters. Just kind of what was your thought process, I guess, with that group there, and what did you see from that lineup that you thought worked?
Well, I think the key there was I wanted to get, they were sprinkling in some zone, and Julie's really good at getting us organized. And they were kind of going makes and misses. If they scored, they were back in the zone. Julie's also a tremendous three-point shooter. You haven't seen that yet, but she can really shoot. So that was the thinking with having her in. And it wasn't, wasn't good at that. It was just Julie, is elite at getting us organized. It gets KP off the ball, where she can do more scoring on the wing against a zone. So that's what the decision was.
Anthony.
Right here. Anthony DeLeon, LA Times. Rakia is listed as probable in the injury report. Will she be in the starting lineup, or is there like an ease and sort of a minutes restriction? In addition, how was her progress from the symptoms? Was it a standard concussion timeline? And then finally, Julie was added to the injury report, but also probable. Any update on when that injury might have occurred, and what the plan with her is tonight?
Yeah, Rakia is gonna play unless something happens in warm-ups, but assuming that she's good, but she's been cleared medically, and as to answer your question about her recovery through it, everybody's different. As I've said, like brain injuries, it's not an exact science, and so our medical team did a tremendous job of just making sure her health is first, and we don't want to mess around with concussions, but she's passed every kind of phase, and so as of yesterday, she was cleared to. She played a little 3-on-3 with some of our practice guys yesterday just to get used to that contact. But for tonight, she's not going to start. She needs to kind of get her sea legs, and it's not that she's just been out. She's when you're in your concussion protocol, you're very limited in what you can do physically, and so I don't anticipate her to have extended minutes just because of the fatigue factor. But we're excited to have her back. And we've certainly missed her, and it's good to have her back. And Julie, at some point late in the game, kind of fell on her hand, and so had that checked out and everything. So she's in some discomfort, but as far as I've heard as of now, she's good to go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coach, when it comes to Steven, she's had a really good start, best start of her career. What do you think is the main reason for that?
I think she fits perfectly in what we're trying to do. So, in essence, she's like a 6'7" wing, right? And our system allows her to play to her strengths. Where she I think is probably from college. She really understands cutting and spacing, and she, with the way we want to play, she's able to do a lot of that, a lot of catch and shoot. But the thing I've been most impressed with is just her physicality and willingness to defend and rebound. We knew what we got. We knew what we had with her on the offensive end, but I've been very impressed with her defensively. So she's been a huge catalyst for us. And the one game she didn't have a good game, and I told the team this, it's because we didn't play the way we're supposed to offensively. So most of her points come from those kickouts, cuts, that kind of thing, and we weren't ever doing it. And so she would, did Azrae have a bad night? No, we didn't have a good night offensively. And I think if our system's working and we're moving the ball and players are moving, then you're going to see Azrae have a lot of opportunities.
John.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. How do you approach a game against a coach on the other side that has so many parallels when it comes to offensive philosophy?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I was talking with him before we intersected. We were walking out of shoot around, they were walking in, and I've known him just from the college ranks, but that's what I said, it's, you know, it's kind of the tale of the same, you know, similar styles. So I think we both know what gives that system fits, and I'm sure we're both gonna try to do it.
Coach Michael Matthew, LA Sparks Weekly. It seemed like the difference in the last game compared to some of the others, everyone who got the ball was aggressive, looking to score. We saw Sarah Ashley, you know, being aggressive, probably playing one of her best games. Was that something that you guys emphasized when it came into that game, and how would it help you guys today?
Yeah, I think, you know, as players get more and more comfortable, when you get more comfortable, then you get more confident. When you're confident, then you start to play to your potential. And I think that's what you're seeing with Sarah Ashley and hopefully everybody, right? And, you know, what I told them yesterday and today is we need consistency. We can't be peaks and valleys. We've got to be consistent with our aggressiveness, consistent with our urgency on defense, consistent with our, you know, focus and to execute. And so that's what I'm looking for today. Like, it's been a stretch of game, rehab, game, rehab, game. And, you know, players love it. And for me, it's we got to prepare them as best we can. But I want to see continued improvement in consistency.
Hey Coach, Fredo Swans is here with the Sporting Tribune. Was there like anything specifically after the last game on Sunday that maybe stood out to you and your coaching staff when you guys were watching film that maybe something you want to prep for tonight against the Dream?
I don't think anything that I didn't mention. Again, I think the way we moved the ball, passed it, shared it. I think defensively, we were able to make some adjustments, and the players did a good job changing our pick and roll coverage on the fly, changing our rotations on the fly. So again, every team's different. Every adjustment's going to be nuanced to who you're playing. So yeah, I don't have a great answer for that.
Jackie.
Hey Coach, Jackie Ray TV. Kind of want to piggyback off of that because you said no matter what, win or lose, you need the team to turn the page. But when you're in this constant state of play, rehab, how do you keep them locked in on that narrative?
Well, you continue to reinforce the message, right? And I think consistency starts with me. Win or lose, you know, I got to show up the same work ethic and the same desire to win. And that comes across in how we prepare and how we talk and all the things. And these guys they're competitors. They want to win as bad as I do. They really do. So, you know, a lot of new, and we're getting to the point where we can't use that anymore. But it is still learning one another and what everybody, you know, as a group, what we respond to, and as individuals. And that's the beauty of a team sport. That's why I love doing it. That's the science. But you know, I think it's just continuing to be consistent in the messaging and be consistent in the approach and mentality.
Coach, KP really wants those 10 plus assists. How do you get her double-digit assists?
Don't tell her to pass the ball more. No, she'll get it. She'll get it. She's having a heck of a start. I have no doubt she'll get it. Maybe tonight.
Nick.
Hey Coach, Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. Wanted to ask you just the difficulty that Brianna Jones presents on the floor, and how are you able to try to counter or even slow it down enough where they don't start getting offensive transition and being able to score.
Yeah, she's good, and she's had a great start. I think she's fitting in well with what they're trying to do. You know, she's an elite passer, and she'll catch it up at the top of the key and make plays. You double her in the post, she's really elite at that. She's almost better out of a double, which is counterintuitive. So we've got to mix things up, not let her get comfortable. And, you know, get back in defense. Transition defense in this league is huge. Atlanta will get out and run. But how do you beat a running team? You run it right back at them.
Last question, Charlotte in the back.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
Charlotte Moore, FI 360 News. Coach, I may have missed it, but Odyssey's been having a great first half. Talk about how can she get 2 halves like that from back-to-back games of just coming out strong in the first half.
Yeah, part of her reason in the second half, because I put in Julie to the question earlier, so she couldn't control that too much. But I think she's been tremendous, and her buy-in and commitment to the Sparks and what we're trying to do has been great. You know, she is the more she is able to knock down those kick-out threes, the harder she's going to be to guard, and she's shooting at a good percentage. And so teams are going to have to choose. Her explosiveness I mean, you know, her speed out of the starting blocks is amazing. It's impressive. So if teams are gonna gamble and play with fire and continue to sag off her, if she can shoot for percentage, that's gonna make our whole team better. But I'm proud of her. I think she's done a great job thus far, and we're gonna need her down the stretch for sure.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.